Hello there YouTube and welcome to Showcase Watches. Today bringing you the Rolex GMT 116710 BLNR. This is nicknamed the Batman. Before I get into the video, I would just like to say please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the regular content that I upload. And if you'd like to leave a comment in the comment section, I will try to reply. So yeah, this is the Rolex GMT Batman, the 116710 BLNR. First launched in Bezel World 2013. This is Rolex's, I suppose at the time it was their flagship GMT watch. Obviously the super case on this watch, which first came out in 2008 on the black GMT, later featured on the ceramic Submariners, and then later again in 2013 made it to the Batman. Now the Batman was quite a groundbreaking watch when it first came out because the bezel on this watch is ceramic and of course it's two colours. Now Rolex did say that they couldn't put two colours on one piece of ceramic, and then later, obviously in 2013, they proved themselves wrong and they managed to accomplish it with a seamless join between the blue and the black on one piece of ceramic. Since they've obviously gone on to do the Pepsi and the up-to-date Batgirl, so it's now a technology which they're using, and I'm curious as to when the other watch brands will cotton on and learn how to do it for themselves. But this is cutting edge. This watch in 2013 turned everybody's head, and it's absolutely truly amazing. The dial, as you'd expect for the GMT Master 2, with the white gold indices, the white gold hour hand, minute hand, seconds hand and GMT tip, all in the white gold. We've got the date there under the typical Rolex sapphire crystal Cyclops. It is a sapphire crystal, obviously an anti-scratch sapphire crystal. Just an absolutely stunning watch, and this is probably my most favourite GMT of any Rolex GMT or any GMT watch on the market, past or present. I absolutely adore this watch. Triplock crown, which is keeping the caliber 3186 watertight. That is a COSC certified movement. It's running extremely accurate. This watch is running somewhere between 0 and plus 1 second per day. The dimensions of this case are near perfection, and that's the only way I can describe the dimensions of this case is perfection. It's a 40mm case. That is the super case though, so remembering with the super case that Rolex very cleverly played with the dimensions of this watch, and they just extended the lugs ever so slightly, not altering the lug distance, just beefing them up a little bit. So this watch, it measures 40mm, it wears more like a 41. The lug width, as I mentioned, is 20mm, so it's fantastic for taking NATO straps, leather straps, rubber straps, etc. Very contemporary size. Now the lug to lug is 48mm lug to lug, so it wears very well on most wrists, and the depth of the case is 12.1mm thick. So this is, like I said before, this is pretty much the perfect size watch for any wrist. It is super comfortable to wear, and it just looks right. The proportions are near perfect. Stainless steel, so it's the 904L stainless steel. You can see on the bracelet, which is the Oyster bracelet, we've got a mixture between brushed and polished centre links, which gives the watch a lovely lustre, and you can see it there. It just pops. It really does pop. A little bit dressy for some. Personally, I would have preferred to have seen the bracelet all brushed and keep the tool watch aesthetic, but you know, that being said, when you wear this, you don't really notice it that much. It's only when it's under artificial light like now, and you can really see it sort of popping. But it's a beautiful bracelet, absolutely beautiful bracelet. Moving on to the clasp, you can see we've got there, as you'd expect, the Oyster clasp with the nice engraving of Rolex there. All 904L stainless steel, and it's all milled from one piece of the 904L stainless steel. As we close it, we've got the one click and we've got the two click, so it's that double protection. This watch isn't going to fall off your wrist. It's not like the friction fit of the previous GMTs. This is you've got the double security on this, and it won't fall off in a hurry. So to open it up, you just open that, and then just the nail under there, if you can do it with gloves on, that is, and there it is. It opens up. Just got the little bit of movement on there to open it. So it's a very nice, elegant clasp. It's smaller than the Submariner Clasp. The Submariner Clasp obviously housing the glide lock system. It would have been nice to have seen the glide lock in the GMT, and even the modern, even the latest GMT doesn't have the glide lock system, unfortunately. We do have a little bit of micro adjustment in the, so if you extend it out, you do have that little bit of 5mm micro adjustment, so it's not massive, but you know, if you've got the watch size to your wrist and you just have that little bit of heat in the day and you need to expand your wrist, you need to expand the bracelet for your wrist, you can do so. It's very, very easy to size. We've got the screws here, so the screws can be removed and you can size this watch extremely easy. No reason to take it into a authorised dealer to have it sized. It's something you can do from home. The triple lock crown, so one of my niggles is always with crowns, and this isn't just Rolex, this is most brands, is you would think for the level of money you're spending, you'd hope they could get it to line up, but you know, you can't have everything. I'd like to have seen the triple lock crown pointing in the right direction, but like I said, you can't have everything. You can see there underneath the crown the 3 points. That indicates the triple lock crown. Case back of the watch, as you'd expect for Rolex, it is a plain, simple case back, very, very tool watch-esque. It is what you'd expect from a Rolex. Some people do get these engraved. Personally, I would never do that. I would leave it as it is. I respect Rolex for the fact that they leave these plain and simple. Other brands like Omega do put the display backs, or they do put something a bit more detailed on, but I quite like the simplicity that Rolex go down. Rolex concentrate on the quality, and they concentrate on spending the money and the time in the areas that matter, not the areas that we don't see. So I can sort of respect Rolex for that. But then, you know, it is nice sometimes to see the movement. It is nice to have a bit of decoration on there. So it divides opinion. Personally, I don't mind it. I think if you own Rolex, you sort of accept that that is the case. On the bezel, so it's a GMT bezel, and the bezel is unidirectional, so it goes in hour increments, and obviously that's tracking 1 GMT time. You can move the hour hand in hour increments. That's how we set the date, and also jump different time zones. And then the third way is we move the GMT hand there around, so you can actually track 3 time zones, which of course is the case for all GMT Master 2s. The previous, just the GMT Master, which I think the last one was the reference 16750, that only allowed you to track 2 time zones. But the GMT Master 2s allowed you to track the 3. What can I say? This watch is perfection. There's nothing more I can say for it, really. It is pure perfection. Rolex really did have a tough time to beat this watch, and that's why I think they had to move on to the Jubilee, because anything else they did to this watch would have spoilt it. The only way they could perfect this watch would be to bring out another variant, and to bring out another variant on the Jubilee bracelet. People who want the Oyster will buy the Batman. People who want the Jubilee will buy the Batgirl. It's personal preference. Me personally, I prefer the Batman. The Batman is a little bit beefier on the case. It is, like I mentioned, the super case. The Batgirl, which is the Jubilee version, has got the same case as the modern day Pepsi, which is ever slightly, where Rolex have beefed up the lugs here, the Batgirl and the Pepsi have just narrowed the lugs in again. So it's basically the Batman that's had a diet. That would sort of equate to the Batgirl. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I mean, to me, this is just perfection. It is perfection. There's nothing more you can say about it. I suppose I should touch on the fact that it is a discontinued model. Now, the recommended retail price on this watch before it was discontinued was £7,750. You will never, ever, ever see one at that price. Currently, here in the UK, this is July 2nd, 2020, you can pick this watch up for about 13,000 to somewhere between 12,500 up to 14,000, somewhere in that bracket. 14,000 would get you a brand new one, still stickered. 12,500 would get you one maybe a few years old with a bit of wear and tear. This one here, I would put somewhere in the £13,000 region. It's a very, very hyped watch. Will it go down in price? I don't think so. I think the only way this watch is going is up. I think it's had its hype. I think the hype all happened when the watch was discontinued. I think now what we'll see is that the prices will settle, and we'll just have, like all the other discontinued Rolex models, we'll just have a steady increase every year, year in, year out. The prices will just steadily go up and up and up. I think it's also worth mentioning that when you're looking at the Batman and the Batgirl, one of the ways to tell the difference between the two watches is one on the Batgirl, the minute hand is slightly shorter, and sorry, it's slightly longer. But the Batman is the shorter hand. The Batgirl has the slightly longer minute hand. And another way is where it says at the bottom here, Swiss made. On the Batgirl, we have the little crown in between the Swiss and the made. And Rolex did this so that it was easy to distinguish between the two watches. So if somebody did put the Batgirl on a different bracelet, they wouldn't sell it off as a Batman. And equally, if someone put the Batman onto a Jubilee, they wouldn't pass it off as a Batgirl. So there is some differences to the naked eye, which obviously you can find. Yeah, I can't really say much more. This is the perfect watch. If you're looking for a GMT watch and you've got the money to spare, the Batman is, in my opinion, the greatest GMT watch of all time, and that includes present and old. I am putting this as the best GMT watch ever made in the history of watches, regardless of brand. So let me know what you guys think. This is Showcase Watches. Please do subscribe to the channel, check out my other videos, leave me a comment. I will reply to as many as I can, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching and take care.